I'm Professor Dag, and please enjoy these 31 tales from the creep.
Chapter 9. The Light. I went to a Baptist church growing up as a child. Every Sunday we went to the church house and sang songs and listened to the sermon. One particular Sunday we arrived a few minutes early, and as we entered the front of the church, Mom and Dad both greeted the pastor as usual, and I stood there listening to the hum of voices and chatter from all around. As they talked, I looked to my left where some stairs went to the balcony. I looked back at my parents, then slowly crept towards the stairs. I looked back one more time, then ascended the long green carpeted stairwell to the upper room. The balcony was wide and open, and no one was there yet. I walked along the front pew, peeking over the old wooden railing, sliding my hand along, feeling the smooth finish. I came to the aisle and began walking up the steps to the very back. I decided to go all the way down to the end in one of the back pews. I sat down and tried to look through the stained glass window that stretched from close to the ceiling of the balcony back down to the first floor. There was a gap in the floor of the balcony and the ceiling of the first floor, and I always envisioned myself climbing down through it like Indiana Jones or something. As I looked through the gap and back up and into the colors, I heard a voice from behind me say, "What do you see?" I turned fast to see one of the older deacons smiling at me. I don't know," I replied sheepishly. "You know," he said, "there's a story behind that window." He had my attention, and I waited for him to continue, but before he did, the old bell started to ring from up high in the steeple. I hurried past the deacon and ran downstairs and to where my parents were. The service began and the songs were sung and the sermon was preached. The whole time I kept wondering what that story about that window must be. The last song was sung and we were dismissed. The week went by quickly and it was Sunday again. Time to go to church. As we entered, the ritual of conversational how-you-dos began, and I felt myself being pulled to the balcony once again. I walked slowly to the window and sat down. I looked over my shoulder to see if the deacon would be there to tell me the story, but I was alone. I turned to look again at the stained glass. The emerald greens and deep blues hypnotized my eyes, and before I knew it, the bell began to ring. I got up in a hurry and started to make my way down the pew when I stopped. The lights were out, and the only light there was came from the stained glass windows along the sides of the church. An eerie absence of sound filled the sanctuary. My ears tightened against the silence as I strained to hear anything at all. I took a step. The floor creaked and moaned under my weight. I stopped. The silence was deafening, and I didn't want to hear that creak again. I climbed on the seat of the pew and slowly crawled along to the end. I got my feet to the floor and tiptoed along down the aisle, still listening with all I had, hoping to hear the familiar hum of voices. As I reached the balcony railing, I started to creep along the side of it with hopes that I wouldn't be in trouble when I was found. Something out of the corner of my eye froze me, and as I turned timidly to look, there, behind the pulpit with one arm raised pointing straight at me, was the deacon, his mouth open wide and his eyes as two black holes.